Guys, I'm Relive Hughes. You're listening to the Friday Frothy. What a fantastic show.
The Friday Frothy. The Friday Frothy.
Right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Friday Frothy here again on a Friday night. Glennie, how are you, mate?
Oh, look, Jeff, absolutely fine, mate. Good to be back in the Frothy bar.
Mate, another special guest tonight. Thank you to those guys who were joining us on YouTube and on Facebook. Hopefully it's all up and running. But Jaimes Wiggins, thanks for coming in, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure to have you,
Thanks,
mate.
James. Good on you, mate. Thank you.
On the back of our last show where we were doing the AFL team in Tasmania and all that sort of stuff. And
Passionate, mate.
Bit
I'm
of passionate.
very passionate about that, but if anyone wants to tell me different, that's fine.
But
It's all
just,
good.
guys, just before we do start off the show, I just wanted to do a couple of quick announcements. And the first one is congratulations to the producer, Alison.
Yes.
She's disappeared. Happy birthday for yesterday, mate. What was she, 27? That was a date.
2022.
But happy birthday to Al. And also happy birthday to the big fella over here, Glenn.
Yeah, 45.
45
yeah.
on Monday, I think
And
it
then-
was.
Sorry
And
guys,
then-
I was in the fridge.
Just to let you know that
Thanks
Al,
to everyone who wished me happy birthday.
You're going to be had a little
Thank
bit
you.
more than 45, mate.
you share your
I'm telling
birthday with Alan Border and Mick Jagger, so well done.
Oh,
Congratulations on that. Now, and also, just want to let everyone know that we've got a
I think it's just a
phone.
crutch.
We've
Look
finally
out.
got the phone in.
We've got a phone.
I will put the. Oh, I've got the number. You got
We've
the
got a
number?
link to the
Handy?
well, mate.
It's in your thing up here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, sorry.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, puppy dogs and pussycats. That's about it, isn't it?
Amazing.
Pretty
That's
well
about
covered,
it,
mate.
Right, that's
Pretty
about
well
it.
covered.
If you want to join in on the show at any time, there's a number going to come across the
It's
screen.
coming. It's coming.
And the number is 0361283834. If you want something to say, you want to ask a question to either James or Glenn or myself, you just want to say hello, dial in.
Rob will be there from Queensland.
Say hello.
He'll be dialing in any moment.
Thanks to our new sponsor for the phone. Can't say his name yet because his website's not up, so he doesn't want to say anything yet. But Mel, thank you so much, mate. Appreciate that. And one more thing before we get started. Sorry, James.
You're right.
We're having I don't even know what the club. What is the club that Corey is down at Sorrel?
Oh.
I don't know.
I'll just
I'll come back to that, but I'm
What's he
interviewing
going
Todd
down?
Russell on Wednesday night at the football club, 7 p.m. Corey, help me out and either give me a
It's a
call.
Sorrel
or-
Football Club.
Yeah, I
No?
for the young.
just for-
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
the
come
under-
back. That's bad,
okay.
isn't it?
It's a good start.
Oh.
Right?
How are you, mate?
I'm really well.
This is how we roll.
This is amazing.
I will work that out. I promise you.
This is a great setup.
We don't have to be exactly
I will work
on the
that
show.
out. Oh my God, what a stuff up that was. But anyway, welcome to the show, mate. Thank you very much for coming on.
No, thanks for the opportunity.
And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about what you do, and
Yes.
we're going to talk about the Relive the Rivalry
Yes.
game. You've also got a big function.
Yeah, the night before.
That's going to happen as well. It's going to be
Yes.
some sore heads going on.
Well, there normally is.
Yeah. But mate, fill us in a little bit about the rivalry. How's it come about, and what's the story with it?
Yeah, so obviously the game started back in 2012, March 2012. I just got out of football. I hadn't been well. I feel that we miss out on a lot of things in Tasmania, so I thought we need a game of football. Luckily, over the journey, we're all connected with a lot of good people, and we kicked off a game, Tasmania versus the Victoria All-Stars, based on the 1990 game, where obviously that famous day, 24th of June.
And we watched that. I watched that about 2-3 weeks ago. A brother just come down from Queensland, an older brother, and he said, "Why don't we have a look at the 1990 grand final? Oh, sorry, the 1990 Victoria versus Tasmania.
Yeah.
How good was that game?
Oh, it was brilliant.
Not just the fact that Tassie won, but it was just there was no. It was hard football. I've never seen they just went hammer and tongs at it. Brilliant game. Sorry, mate.
No, you're right. So
mate,
obviously
brilliant.
it meant a lot.
Is that the 10-year one that I'm putting up? The 7th of October?
Yeah, well, there's a picture there. That's the Saturday 7th. Is that right? 7th
That's the
October?
game day.
That's the game
That's
day.
the game.
So we'll get that up.
Absolutely. Thank
And
you.
I'll just put up the...
And you got a picture of the old State of Origin team there as well. I
There we
think
go.
you can
It's
chuck up.
coming up.
So,
Yeah.
Lovely.
Great footballers in there.
can you give us a rundown of who played in that 1990 game and who might be playing in
I
this
can
game?
help you if you don't.
Go for it.
Oh, I've heard.
I'll put pressure on him, mate.
Okay, I'll have a little go at it.
Okay.
Atkins,
Simon.
So I'll give you the team. So
Yes.
he was from the Dogs.
Yes.
Steve McPherson.
Another
Super,
dog. Yes.
Another one. On the other side,
Yes.
Victoria, that he was Foster, he was playing. for
Yes.
them.
Another Bulldogs.
A guy, Darren Pritchard, only because I go for Hawthorn.
Yeah, the captain.
Probably nearly BOG. The one that played really well
Yes.
was, and I played against this guy here, but James Manson in the ruck. I thought he dominated. Actually, Big Monkhurst in the game, and he was fantastic. But yeah, keep going, mate.
Yeah, so
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He's gone so early.
No, I can keep going, but it's not important
No,
because
go,
it was
go,
so good.
James.
Alistair Lynch, of course, dominated down back.
he
mate,
did
full
too.
back.
He's on the ball, but yeah, listen,
back.
obviously great day. I set up on the kiosk.
I was actually probably up sitting up on top of the grandstand somewhere, mate. No, I wasn't really. I was probably in the bar.
I was in the back doing the Merv Hughes stretches.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wrong place.
No,
Wrong
no.
place.
Where the ball went, it was absolutely brilliant.
Was it?
20, I don't know, it was absolutely packed, and
Yes.
I haven't seen North Hobart packed like that, probably except 1974 grand final.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Let's go on.
So what you're telling me is the 1990 grand final,
State of origin.
it's State of Origin, Victoria versus Tasmania.
Yes.
1990, and all of a sudden, 2023, you're going to reenact that game.
Yeah, so that's what the basis of the game is. So, been very fortunate. There's 4 guys playing their 10th game, but there's six or seven guys from that 1990 team playing.
Yeah, okay.
So Simon Atkins, Michael Gale, Paul Hudson, Brett Stevens, John McCarthy, Darren Pritchard this year for the first time ever. So pretty amazing that 6 guys from the team of 20 are running around.
Is this a one-off
that's
thing, or have you
interesting,
done
isn't
this
it?
in the past?
No, so this is game 10. So it's the
really?
first game was March 2012. Obviously, we've had
Yeah.
a couple of hiccups with COVID-19.
With COVID, yep.
But along the way, we've had 6 or 7 games at North Hobart. We've had a game on the northwest coast at Dole Park Penguin.
Yeah.
Last year we played at Huonville. We've also had a game at UTAS in Launceston.
Okay, yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
All right. So, and we call it the Victorian All Stars. So that means we can get guys in from other parts as well. So the Victorian All Stars this year are coached by David Rees-Jones.
Yeah.
We're bringing guys in like Darryl White, Richard Champion,
James.
Mickey O'Loughlin,
Yeah,
Oh,
Leon Davis.
Yep.
wow.
Mate, there's some fantastic names. New faces are Matthew Primus, Des Headland, Nick Malcheski, Michael Barlow, that played with Freo.
Yeah.
And then, mate, also Gary Baker, like Big Bull
Yeah,
Baker.
Big Bull.
At 70,
Yeah,
plays game 10.
he's going to go.
Yeah.
Look, I played against Bull Baker in a Super Rules game, and that one going back 20-something plus years ago, I reckon.
40 years.
And he
ago.
remember
I
that.
reckon 40 years.
No, he's dead. He's seriously, he's unbelievable, this guy.
Yeah.
He
Maybe
just keeps
50
going.
years ago.
He's not on crutches.
And I'm
He's
not saying Bull's old. I'm saying you're
Bull?
old.
If you're out there, mate.
Yeah, no, listen, he's a fantastic guy.
He is.
And
Great-
listen, the game's
great
played in the
man.
right spirits. You can just see in the last 5 minutes if the game's close, because there's no rules.
No.
The intensity rises. I'm wearing a Tasmanian jumper, you're the All-Stars,
Yep.
so she's on.
Yeah.
Someone wants to win, but at quarter time, 3/4 time, the public can go out and listen to the coaches. Andy Lovell, former Tasmanians coach in Tasmania, or they can listen to Reese.
And David Rees-Jones.
Yeah, and listen, if you want to take a beer out and have a beer with Fev, that's fine as well.
Yeah.
So we really make it a really warm experience, and we just want the poor battler in the street that hasn't got a lot of money.
I've got to ask, how are ticket sales?
We haven't started yet. We're
Okay.
about to start.
Yep.
Mate, things are going really well. Sponsorship's been fantastic. Player commitment's been amazing. And also, just so you guys are aware, we also bring in a few local legends as well. So, David Camrick, that played over 200 games at Glenorchy, 3-time Best and Fairest winner, and also Premiership players. He's playing. Nick Payne, who obviously played a lot of football at Clarence. Yeah, little Chine.
Now
He's on board.
Well.
Yep.
Greg Sharman, another guy from the Northwest Coast that spent some time at Clarence. He's
Yeah.
done really good things in footy. So, you know, you guys...
Darren Perry, is he still playing it?
No,
he's not playing. Oh,
no. But
Okay.
the thing about it is some of these guys, unfortunately, don't get the opportunity to go to the mainland.
No.
And it might be work lifestyle opportunities. So we like to reward them because they've done their bit in footy.
Mate, that's unreal. I've got to ask you, how did you get this all organised? Let's just, to me, like, we do a little bit of a show here, and we get a couple of guests and things like that.
hard
But,
work.
but you are talking megastars in this thing. How did you get this done?
Well, obviously, as I said, I worked in football for a period of time. I had time at the Burnie Dockers at Devonport, spent some time in Melbourne at Werribee, and AFL Tas for a period of time in Glenorchy, and so just been fortunate enough. And also the guys that play in the game sell the game to people as well. They say, hey, come down.
Yeah.
Because we don't overload them. They come down on the Friday, as we'll explain later. Mate, they come in. they get together, they go to a local pub together. I try and get the locals that are playing to come in and realise that they're only normal people.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
They're in a profile sport, but they're the same as you.
Yep.
And they probably can't do what either of you two do during the day.
Yep.
All right? So they're just fortunate enough to be in the profile area. So, and a number of guys come back, and it's like a family reunion.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
it is. That's
Yeah, and then on the
absolutely
Friday they do that. Saturday morning's their own time. We have one or two that go and have a water.
Yeah, water.
Yes,
Frothy.
water.
Yeah.
I'm upsetting them tonight. The Friday.
No,
coffee.
it's all right. It's all right. I'm going to get you on the Sarsaparillas in a minute.
Yeah, rightio.
You'll be all right.
And you're and then obviously play the game, and there's not too much involved there. And then Saturday night we look after them with the food and a few drinks. We do presentations, awards, and look after them and get them home.
Yeah. Sorry, where's that, James? Where's this big night going to be? Is that
You blokes will find out later.
Okay. Okay, we'll keep that under wraps. You just.
Well, it's a Friday night, Glennie, so it's a possibility we could do a show from there. Just thinking out loud. I'm just thinking out loud.
Imagine that.
I'm just thinking out loud.
Bruce Jones, we've
interviewed Dave
We've
Bruce
interviewed
Jones.
Dave
We've
Bruce
talked to
Jones.
Dave Bruce Jones.
Lovely.
Paul Baker,
Great
all those
fella,
guys, so-
absolutely brilliant man. Knows a hell of a lot of.
May I mention also we've had a few charities involved in the
I was
past.
going to ask you, yeah.
So for seven
Absolutely.
games, we looked after Muscular Dystrophy Tasmania.
Yep.
Yes,
Raised over 100,000 for that charity.
fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic.
We moved on to Beyond Blue for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Nice.
And our money went to their 24-hour call centre, particularly through COVID, which I think was really important.
Yeah, I do.
And this year we've gone with Food Bank Tasmania, so they look after struggling families, they
Which
look
is
after
happening
homeless people.
A lot of them, mate.
And
It's pretty bad.
our money, talking to them recently, our money will be dedicated to their breakfast and schools program for 2,500 kids statewide.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
all these things that I reckon it's fantastic because I know like with Beyond Blue and
Yes,
everything, which is sort of dear to my heart a bit, but like as we see on these major shows now, isn't it? Everyone now, which I think is fantastic, is like your Rewaltz and all that with the Maddie Foundations and every sportsman and one thing that's not credited actually with a lot of young guys today,
yes,
footballers, cricketers, netball, whatever,
Allergic to Coopers.
is you don't hear what they do outside. What they do when they're in the hospitals. Seeing the
100%.
kids, and if you can just put a smile
Yep.
just on their face and give them something, especially when they're going through, let's face it, a bloody hard time,
yes.
I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great point. And may I highlight a couple of things. The media are quick to jump on Brendan Bavola for
I know where
doing
you're
something
going.
early hours.
Yeah.
A couple of stories from the game is early days. A couple of guys with muscular dystrophy from the northwest coast came down.
Yep.
He's made a V line for them after the game, given their jumper, etc. And last year we played the game at Huonville, and that was around the time Shane Morton passed away.
Yeah.
And obviously Fev and Morty are very close.
Yeah.
He had to get back to Melbourne that afternoon. There was no flights after 5 o'clock out of Hobart. He flew down on the day of the game at 11 a.m, comes to Huonville for 2 quarters,
Yep.
has a shower and
Pretty
goes home.
special, wasn't it?
It is. And listen, who in their own...
That's-
I'd question normal people doing that, let alone people with profile.
Yeah.
That tells you the quality of Brendan
I think
Bavola.
it says something about him, and I can remember too. He came down. I think he had a kick up at New Norfolk,
He did.
didn't he? There, and he
Yes.
did very well. It's not the fact that he did well, even. It was from the feedback was the guys that he was running out with, and the camaraderie ship.
Yes.
But when you watch a guy like that,
Yes.
I can remember one game in particular. It was funny because I was sitting at the MCG with a bunch of guys, and I can remember, I don't think Franklin played.
Yes.
Roughhead, he kicked 8.
Yep.
So I'm going back a little time ago.
Yes.
Favola's kicked 7. I had these guys behind me. There's a couple of good Italian boys, if you're there.
Good Italian boys.
Good Italian boys.
I like that
Carlton,
spaghetti.
they were Carlton, obviously, and they were giving me heaps all day. And didn't you think I'd give some back, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
But at any rate, towards the end of the day, poor old Fev, it's the only time I could ever have a go at him.
Yes.
2 minutes to go, Carlton got in front, Fev's 5 metres out. What do you reckon he done with the ball? He missed.
Did he really?
We won by about 2 points. What do I say to the guys? Straight down Richmond pub, boys. It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll sit down there for the
Southeast
rest of the
Suns.
night, but
Guys, I've got to drop the ball and say Todd Russell. I'm going to interview Todd Russell on again
that'd be fantastic.
Wednesday
mate.
night. Beaconsfield Mine disaster.
Yes.
It's going to be at Southeast Suns at Sorrel.
Southeast Suns.
7 p.m. on Wednesday, guys. So if you're down that way, drop in, come and watch myself talk to Todd Russell, talk about the mine disaster.
He's a ripper.
He is a ripper.
He is
Speaking of
actually.
our,
Yeah.
of our sponsor, should we run to an ad because we haven't played his ad this season so far? So
Oh, not just yet, mate. Not just yet.
Not just yet?
We
Okay.
will soon. Brett Stevens is who Corey is sponsoring.
Well, Brett Stevens,
Yeah, he's
a
a
great
ripper.
footballer at North Hobart, and but now
Glenorchy.
tell me, and Glenorchy.
Yes.
Actually, which did it go? Glenorchy, then North Hobart, or
No,
North
no,
Hobart, Glenorchy? Yeah, okay, right. Anyway, good footballer, but
Yes.
didn't he? Was he the guy that? Oh, I'm getting this wrong, and went on as a coach with the tennis?
Correct.
What was the tennis player? Can you
Yeah,
remember?
I think you had
What-
Peter,
who was it?
Peter Sampras.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah, so, mate, he's an amazing
He's an
person.
amazing person.
He's a
good
real-
footballer.
I'll put you
Very
on to
good
him for an episode.
Please, thanks.
Very
an
good
absolute ripper.
footballer, mate.
Sounds great.
Absolute ripper.
Him and Michael Gale, when they travel down on the Friday, they borrow one of the 12-seaters that are provided by Ovis, and
Okay.
they go op shopping. So it's most of the blokes
Okay.
go to the pub. These blokes are going to the garbage, the tip shops, everything in Hobart.
Yeah.
Come back with some amazing products.
No way.
Yeah, and I think Seven Mate, prior to COVID, they had their own show, Moose and Butch.
Okay.
Or Butch and Moose, whatever it's called. But yeah,
Actually,
nah.
that sounds familiar. I do
Yeah.
remember that.
So where
So-
does he
Yeah.
live now, Mickey Gale?
So those guys live in Melbourne. Mickey's out at
So
St
Mick's,
Kilda.
he's out there. Okay.
Yeah, and so Brett Stevens, yeah, as you said, started at North Hobart. Interesting story. Crossed over halfway through 1983 and played in the Premiership at Glenorchy. Went to West Perth. Picked up at 26 years of age, so he's the first ever mature age rookie, really, by David Parkin. Ended up playing 120 games. And when he turned 30, he turned 30 for about 5 years.
That's right. Fitzroy, wasn't he? So he
Yeah.
was over there with Scotty Clayton. and,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
obviously
just going to jump back a little bit here. So the football game itself is on the 7th of October.
Correct.
Can we say that again?
7th of October. And now where is it,
Okay.
James?
North Hobart Oval,
Oh, you
the
can't
original
just
home
say
of football.
the original.
And listen, a really good day. $10 a
I'll be
ticket.
there.
No
We're
way.
there. We're
Yes.
there.
Only $10 a ticket.
Come on, you people out
No
there.
way.
$10.
I got it'll
Can't
be a
even buy a
beer
beer for
sellout.
$10 anymore.
I would like to think Mark Brown's crew would come along.
There you
Oh,
go.
hey, for all, yes. Here we go.
Absolutely.
Viewers, we'll be
Absolutely.
there.
Supporting
Brownie will be there.
supporting football
Come on,
in
Brownie.
Tasmania, I would
We'll
like
be
to
there,
think
mate.
they
Yeah,
will.
and obviously because of a charity too. Like obviously it was great to get support at the state game, but
Yeah.
you guys probably realise this, and I probably don't want to say too much, but you know normally they get 1,000 to a state game, they get 7,800. So you know a lot of money was raised that day for that state game as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
there's the women's game as a curtain raiser.
Yep.
I'm in the process of that. There'll be a Northern Suburbs rep team.
Any spots for Glennie in there?
What in the women's team?
Yeah.
Hey, mate,
Whoa.
they're pretty tough.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I just put it out there.
Thanks for having me,
I was
guys.
just-
I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Well, listen,
I just put
I'll adjudicate. I don't think I'm big enough.
It was probably 8 yards watching the women's soccer last night.
Well, we'll get on to that soon.
I think I'm big enough, so I'll I can adjudicate
I'm
that.
kidding, mate. He can hold his own in
Brilliant.
a
So
in a
yeah, the
scene.
women's game will be Northern Suburbs rep side, made up of Glenorchy's SFLW team,
Okay.
Brighton, New Norfolk and Claremont, so that'll be a composite side.
Yeah.
And last year we did this down in the Huon. We had Huonville and Signet play.
Okay.
They wore an old Huon rep side jumper, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And we're going to introduce Kingbridge to that as well. So that's
Fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah, mate, just a little bit about a bit. Oh, so you're right.
No,
you go.
good. No, you go, mate.
I
No.
was just going to ask a little bit about yourself. I mean, we've only just met.
Yes.
And you're telling us that you've done a bit of work at different clubs
Yeah.
around the state. Just a little
Where
bit
is
about
it?
you, mate. Where are you at, and what have you done?
Well, mate, I was originally just battled away and got an opportunity. I come back from Melbourne. I was doing some orderly work at the end of 2000 and struggling. And John Klug, obviously we know Klugie,
Klugie,
ex Adelaide
Great
Crow,
mate.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Klugie was at an employment agency and put me on intensive assistance. And one day I went to him and said, "Can I send my resume to every footy club in Australia?" And he sort of laughed at me. And I said, "Listen, it's not costing you a cent. Let me do it." So I targeted 3 or 4 clubs in Tasmania. Obviously at the time, unbeknownst to me, State Lloyd League was about to finish and stuff, but Football Tasmania, North Launceston and Burnie, and got a phone call, and unbeknownst to me, Mick McGuan, who was coach and manager of Burnie, was leaving. So I went up there for an interview and got put on for a trial period, and this is a true story. My first week, the club had just beat North Launceston in a grand final, undefeated, against Gary McIntosh's team, and I had to put their best and fairest night together. That didn't know anyone in the town. So listen, that was a big tick straight away.
Yeah,
and
it was.
I was lucky, you know, but I had 3 years at the Burnie Dockers. They went on a run. They won 5 in a row.
It must be heartbreaking for
Who
you
was
now,
the coach
not
then?
having a team there.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of State League. I'm going to be straight honest with you, and I still believe that we need a senior team only competition and we need representation from the Northwest Coast.
Yes.
Just interesting.
agree.
You can,
I agree.
now, I don't mind.
Yep.
I've got an opinion, and I'd like your opinion on this. So,
Just before you do, guy, anyone who's just joining us freshly, we've got Jaimes Wiggins here. He's from the Relive the Rivalry game. It's the rematch of the 1990 State of Origin game between Victoria and Tasmania. Just in case you're new there and you wanted to know who this fella is, Jaimes Wiggins. Thank you, Glenn.
well done, Jeffy. Yeah, no, I was just going to say, they're interesting statewide because, okay, I'm 60. Okay, so if you go back, I can remember when it went from TFL and it went to statewide. Now, a lot of players back when I was younger, some of us were a little bit against it because we had jobs, obviously, and to travel up north, there was that north-south rivalry, which is, I don't know if that's still there. It certainly was when I played, but you know, I think for us, like the longest game I went to was Boyer back in those days.
Yeah, New Norfolk,
Up to New Norfolk. Now, if you when you think about it now, you're going up there, you're getting on. Some of the guys that are playing twos, they were getting on buses and going up to Burnie, and you know, it's okay kicking the dew off at 10 o'clock, and then the seniors have run out.
Yes.
And then you get back, so the whole weekend was gone.
Yes.
I know it's improved, but it's without. So when you're saying the statewide is successful, is it successful without Devonport and the Northern?
No, definitely not. But
So how can we? Well, I suppose my question is to you:
yes.
if we've look, let's hope, and this is where I'm going to go. If we get a Tasmanian side in, and I really hope we get it in.
Yes.
Can they? Do you think, in your mind, I wouldn't say an opinion. Do you think they should restructure then? Like they can keep the statewide.
Yes.
How are they going to? What's your thoughts on restructuring that, or should it be restructured? And should they have still a state final like they used to, or are you just happy for it to be like it is?
No, I'm certainly not happy how it is because obviously it is a bit lopsided. But when people, and this is the thing, I digest things more than others normally. So with the football side of things, they say that the northern teams have an advantage. Well, yes, they've got a bigger recruiting area, but they've still got to recruit them.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So they're not driving from Burnie, Devonport.
No.
When I talk to people on the coast, they want to play in their own region, and I understand that.
Yeah.
And I understand what you're saying. Back in the 80s and stuff, circumstances are different with
Well,
lifestyle.
they were. Yeah.
And you're right, getting on a bus and losing your whole weekend wouldn't happen these days because obviously people work 7 days a week and stuff, or the tradie can earn a bit of cash Saturday morning and still get to the football.
Yeah.
But I just think, from my understanding, and I don't think we... I would have loved a football forum when COVID-19 was around with some good football people in the room to say, take away your allegiance and just think about what's best for football. They had an opportunity to do that, all right? And what I'm saying is I genuinely believe that there needs to be a senior team only state league on the basis that my understanding is there's still a big gap between the coach league where the Devil, well I call them Mariners. The Mariners are playing currently to the VFL.
Yep.
So, and I'm sure you guys have pushed this across when you've done your shows, is once we get an AFL team, when we get it, the list made up for the VFL team initially is going to be those blokes that are going to be drafted to our team.
Right.
All right? So then you're only going to get a handful of top-up kids from the Mariners.
Yep.
And then maybe you might get 1 or 2 from the State League.
Yeah.
And what we've got to realise, the old Devils back in 2001, a Ben Atkin, a Lee Walker, a Nathan Howard, a Benny Careless, those type of blokes were starting to come into their prime.
That's right.
Our competition's not as strong as what it is now.
No,
and those blokes, you know, Brad Coxgood year is nearly at the end of his career.
That's right.
He'd be a bloody brilliant player for us if he was 5 years younger.
If he was 5 years younger.
All right, so I just genuinely believe there needs to be senior competition because I still can't see how the bleeding to Frankston, Werribee, Northern Bull Ants and some of the South Australian clubs because blokes are only going to get a game once every 6 weeks. Yeah. Okay. All right, so that's my thoughts.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. I suppose where I was going with it, do you think, I know, I mean, I've played in some different sides, but they probably won't like this, but if you think in Victoria, and you had Fitzroy, obviously they were defunct, now they're Brisbane Lions.
Yep.
I know me and Jeff spoken about this over a long period of time, and then, of course, the Swans, which you are a Swans man, great South Melbourne man, and then up there.
Yep.
It hurt me to do it too, with even some amateur sides down here, not only just statewide, but do you think we've got too many sides too close here? Now, I played at Clarence, and I played at Lauderdale and Leinster. That's a very short little area in between. If they restructured, so this is where I'm going with it. If they restructured it, I don't know how they go about keeping. They still have to keep their memorabilia and all the rest of it. Yeah, I'm probably going to get shot down for doing this. But
ring in now, guys.
Shoot me, but,
have a crack at
if they restructured it that way, if you combined your say Clarence and Lauderdale.
Yes.
There you go. Now, when I played, Lauderdale was predominantly a amateur side.
Yes.
And then you've got Lindisfarne very close to, probably say Hobart. They lost their side, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
So there's Hobart, Lindisfarne. You've got Kingborough, probably North Hobart, and then that if you've got probably your Norfolk are out of it, but then you combine them and Brighton and brought them in with Glenorchy. Because Glenorchy are struggling. Probably one of the strongest sides back in the day too.
Yeah, for sure.
Glenorchy Football Club, it actually hurts me because my old man was tied up with them back when I was a kid.
Yeah, okay.
And it hurts to see that they're struggling with numbers.
Yes.
It hurts me to think that they're tying people up.
Exactly. But
What are you talking about?
Well, he said his old man was tied up there. And I'm thinking that's all right, is it? You don't tie people up these days.
Back in those days.
Oh, that's what they did.
Days you probably did. They were convicts
Weirdo.
after all. But then you've got North Launceston and Launceston, which you've lost your city souths and all that. So if you brought in another one or two sides there, and you've also combined some of the other sides, Burnie and those, and then I reckon it'd be, it's only my opinion, it'd be a stronger. Okay, if you're not strong enough to get in those sides, you feed it down to the other sides.
Yeah, of course.
And then you've got. If
would
the
it be
Tasmanian side get in,
would it
then
be
you go.
would it be a reserve? Sorry for interrupting there. Would it be a reserve sort of side?
No, I think what you do is you foster better relationships with your zones.
Yeah, with your zones. So we used to play with zones.
That's
and
right.
I remember when we spoke to Daryl Schimmelbush, as I said back when I was a kid, you know, and like he was in Carlton area, wasn't he? And,
Brunswick.
And that's right. And but then they were in the Essendon District League, and all that. So. It was just
I just want to throw this out there, guys on the mainland who probably don't know what we're talking about. Is we have a state league here which is in different cities and different suburbs in Tasmania, and it's in disarray at the moment, isn't it, guys? To be honest with you,
it is.
And we had all this talk about getting a new AFL team and a new stadium, and what's happening at the moment is just we don't really have a feeder league into a VFL side, do we?
So the thing is, what you've got to also remember, and you're right what you say, so from my point of view, I spent 12 years on the northwest coast.
Yep.
They love their footy.
Oh, they do. They're super strong.
100%.
Absolutely,
and
100%.
And Mr. Wade has said, they're really the heartbeat of footy in Tasmania.
Yeah.
But there's been some issues over the journey, and I suggest trust levels as well. But they've got a wonderful facility at Dial Park Penguin. Yep. Where I believe the AFLW will play, where the Devils and the VFL will play.
Yes.
And obviously the Tassie Devils in this current coach league are having games. It's state of the art. Beautiful deck. It's actually probably better than most.
And they're going to put another 36 or 56 million or something.
Yeah, they are. They are. So it needs a few stands and stuff, but it's very similar setup to what Twin Ovals is.
Yep.
But it's mate, the seats they do have available actually is a little bit like North Hobart. You're actually up on top of the place, so you can actually watch
you're
it.
looking down on
Correct. So it's actually a really good setup, and their clubhouse is fantastic. Holds about 200 or 300, so they've got a wonderful facility there. Yeah, okay. And I'll be honest with you, I've said this to people: Northwest Giants affiliate with the Giants on the mainland. They're always looking to branch out and grow their brand. And I can tell you with the right people, the right management people, there are guys on the Northwest Coast that I talk to regularly. They send me messages when they're half sober, and they go, "You're the person to do it." But I honestly believe with the right people, you could get a team base out of there tomorrow and be very competitive.
So, what's your feeling with this sort of stuff up on the Northwest Coast? How are people reacting to it?
What I get is mixed messages.
Yeah.
I don't know how, and I'm going to be talking to some people involved with their so-called committee they've got in the background. I shouldn't say so-called. They've got a group of people together, some really good business people. I don't understand why the message isn't sinking in. Like at the end of the day, I've sat here and watched your program. that $340 million from the federal isn't going anywhere else.
It's not. We're not going to get
No.
it.
This is what we've said.
It's a one-off payment.
Yeah.
It's a
one-off payment.
Yeah, and it's the same with us committing to the. The only thing that concerns me and disappoints me is that stipulation: if we never fill the venue, that we've got to pay.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you,
All right.
and I don't know why that's. Why
How would that go with GWS and the Gold
Well,
Coast?
I know.
They wouldn't be here.
But
They
they've
wouldn't
always
be here.
flogged us to death down here, haven't
Yep.
they?
Guys-
When I'm saying Tasmania, we've always
100%.
stopped
I've
it.
just got a question for you from Michael Cleaver. It could be a relationship.
I don't know.
Relationship. I wouldn't say that.
Oh, he's probably going to say
What
86 off the stick today.
What about North winner plays the winner of the Southern Side State Championship? So,
He's going back to the old days. He's going back to NWFU,
Yeah, for sure.
NCFA. I know where he's going with it, and it's probably going back to when I said, well, if you combine some sides, and then the best sides. Well, whether it's still statewide or whatever, it doesn't matter. If it is, it's great. If it's not, make that. There's a lot of football teams in country areas now. There's just nothing. And whether they combine to make them stronger up there on the northwest coast, same in Launceston, same in Hobart, they do get the Tasmanian side, so that means that you're going to get have a VFL side.
Oh,
so
correct.
that now,
Which
now
we
what
used to-
you're saying, a VFL side. Let's
We used
just
to
say a
love the
VFL
VFL, didn't we?
side. So
Yes.
a VFL side would be made up with guys in Melbourne. Also, it's not going to be just guys here, as you said. And we're going to get guys that are probably there might be a couple that are good enough to get in that side still.
Yes.
And hopefully
What's your
they're
headline?
strong. And then you're going to get a high performance
I think I'm doing all right.
venue somewhere.
It is.
So that's going to be
Slow fall.
good for the kids around the state.
I'd turn it right now.
And then also you're going to get, I suppose,
Gives a crack of that.
from that. I mean,
That's nice.
the other thing is
Sorry.
if they pick a
Take it off
test,
yourself.
It is a Friday.
if they pick a Tasmanian side too,
Yes.
and we get a Tasmanian side.
Yes.
The other question was, and I've just jumped left of field here, but they did mention to us. They said, "Well, are they going to want to come to Tasmania?" In other words, if you're from Western Australia, are you going to want to come and play in the Tasmania side down here? Is there enough for them to do? That was a question, but
It's the best.
someone else
It's the
came
best
up-
state in the
yeah,
country.
but
Why
someone
wouldn't
else, I had a little theory on that.
Yep.
It's been brought up, not
Thanks,
from me, but if they got kids from Victorian country,
Yes.
Western Australian country, South Australia, here, that's probably going to fit in more with our style or lifestyle than a big city boy that's going to want to, that's going to get sick of it after 5 minutes. So they have got a lot of homework to do with all this, and you know what the worst thing is? They haven't got long to do it. Because the deadline's there.
Yeah, the
Well,
clock-
we don't know where
I
we're
saw
going
a
with
picture
it.
of you, mate. We were going to go up there and we were going to start digging the hole. You're already there.
Oh,
You've
but
done it.
Yeah, no, listen, you
So
know,
it's frustrating, mate.
It
Isn't
is
It's
so
bloody
annoying.
frustrating.
It is. So you're right what you say. So what concerns me, the recent state game,
Yep.
how many of those blokes realistically will play in the VFL team? The best players are all in that bracket.
Well,
Sam Siggins is in there.
I came through and
Yep.
I helped out Andrew Hopwood with young
Bobby,
Siggins and
good guy.
these guys.
Yes.
And young Brycey Walsh is the same, and Timmy, my
Yep.
boy, they all come through together and they were a bloody good side. And they're good players, but they haven't had. I think what it is, it drops off. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but it seems like in every side there's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players.
Yep.
And then there's probably, they're trying to get numbers in.
Yes.
And they're making up, there's some guys that are probably not quite ready to
Yep.
be playing senior football, and that's the problem. But to answer your question, not many.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So that's what.
So what are we talking about?
Well, what I'm
Not
saying.
many.
That's right. So that's
One
why
or
I'm saying.
two,
That's why.
three.
That's why I'm saying we need this senior team competition in between.
Yeah.
Because
It's going to make it stronger.
it is.
I get where you're going.
And with that question about a state final, I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
But it'll have to be heavily backed. And when I say that, is if say Glenorchy won a because I'm a Glenorchy man, won a premiership, and they
great.
played the premiership side from the NWFU or the NWFL, sorry.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be good prize money.
Yeah.
All right, to say, hey boys, celebrate on Sunday and Monday. Train
It's
once.
bragging rights as well.
Yeah, to get them to come to Hobart or
Yeah.
in the middle of the state or something.
Yeah.
it needs to be.
Do they run the new TSL or whatever we're going to call it, Tasmanian Football League, TFL? Do they have to run that as what? I don't know if you watch the Gridiron, and they have what do they call it? They have different affiliations. They have 4 different things.
Divisions
yes,
in
like different areas, and they play round robins between
round
themselves.
robins.
So they don't have to travel every week to come down. Because
that's
those guys,
right.
once again on the mainland, you know, if you're in Burnie
I know
and
where
you want to come and play Hobart on a Saturday afternoon, it's a 4.5 hour drive. So it's a long way to come. So that's what I'm saying. Do they have divisions where they actually play round robins in their own sectors, and then the winners from that then come down and play each other, and then that goes to a final? So,
Well, as I said, I think it goes back to what I said.
Conferences, they call
Yeah,
it. Sorry.
you're right, conferences. I just think that there needs to be some good discussion with some good football people. I just think it's, what I read in the paper, I don't buy the Mercury too often because it's a Harvey Norman catalogue, but is and it's true, it's just not right.
Yeah,
but,
it's not right.
I think sometimes there's a fair bit of dictatorship, and I struggle with that.
Yeah.
And talking what you're suggesting also is going back to the clubs. What worries me when we do get an AFL team and stuff is clubs at grassroots level, unless they've got their bookwork right and their club running properly, will disappear. Because if the 3 of us are members of the Devils team, we are members of the Hurricanes, we're members of the Jack Jumpers.
That's right.
Where do we find the $50 to go and watch our local team
it's
play on
starting to
Saturday?
get out there, isn't it?
And we go, I'm not going Saturday because I'm going to the AFL game on Sunday. So it's a worry. And
Well,
as I said,
I was hoping it'd be. I thought if we got a side, that in my understanding, and I don't know if I'm being naive, but I thought if they got a side in,
Tony McFarlane. Okay, Tony.
because we don't get enough funding throughout Tasmania.
Correct.
And you mentioned Scotty Wade, but even he'd tell you that even when he was in charge, going back.
Yep.
But I thought perhaps then grassroots, then the AFL got to push more money towards
Can you move that?
every side within Tasmania
Yes.
to make sure that if they put a academy in, which is important,
Yes.
so that means getting kids from bloody 12 years old,
Yep.
and when they get to 18,
Yes.
then the guys that you are mentioning that now are too old,
yes,
okay, we're basically going back to come forward. So in other words, we're getting kids then so they don't have to go to Melbourne.
Yep.
When they come through, it's like a Sydney program they've got. Brisbane have got it. Now Gold Coast and they've
Yes.
got it as well. They're pinching guys from Darwin, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
And for their academy, and I thought that may give a feeder right through to make us stronger again, because we were strong going way back, but that
Absolutely.
was a long time ago.
Guys,
sorry.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just gonna get us back to where we were. First thing, I've just had someone come up, Brent Forsyth, pain in the bum. The lighting is making your hair very white, Jeff Payne. More Snow White than Silver Fox.
That's true.
Hey? It's the
Can't
light,
argue
mate.
with
I'm
that,
still a
really.
Silver Fox. But guys, I'm just going to get us back to
If you do
the game.
comment on Facebook as well, it does come through to the guys. So if you're
Yes.
out there in Facebook watching this live, you can make comments and we'll be able to receive those.
Yes,
just to
and
let
please,
you know.
can someone give us a call and ask us a question? Because we don't even know the phone works yet. So someone dial in and say hello. Give us a question or just say hello. That's easy as that. Mate, James,
Sorry.
that's all right. How do people get tickets to this game? How does this work?
So obviously we've got a Facebook page with 4,700 likes and followers and stuff. It'll be advertised there early next week.
Which is cool.
We've got a Relive the Rivalry Facebook page and also Instagram.
Yep.
And also we have a website, relivetherivalry.com.au, that's regularly updated, so they can access tickets that way.
Yep.
As I said, it's only $10. We do have a quality program as well, and for the bloke in the street or the supporter in the street to meet their heroes is only got $20. That's
crazy.
Get a pie, get a program,
that's
meet their
cheap
heroes,
tips.
and we just want to make it affordable for people and just have a warm experience. As I said, not every day you get a chance to go and chat with Brendan Pavall or Mickey R or whatever it be.
My word. $10, guys. Get on it. We'll have links up on our Facebook page for it.
No, thank you.
We'll be pushing that
The other
big
thing I
time.
wanted to ask is the team reunion, which is the night before.
Yes,
So that is on the 6th of October.
yes.
And where is that?
That's being held at the Glenorchy Football Club. So a bit of a privilege. Paul Hudson, who played that day, is a very good friend of mine who asked me to organise something. That team has never caught up since 1990.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we've been very fortunate at this stage. 19 of the 20 guys will be there. Graham Wright has a commitment with Collingwood. He's their footy manager, and it's the Copeland Trophy night.
Yep.
Guest speakers are Robbie Shaw, who obviously coached the team.
Yep.
Darren Pritchard is the captain.
Yep.
And very fortunate, we've actually got the opposition coach and captain from that day too, David Parkin and Gary Ayres. So,
wow.
yeah,
Hey,
so,
serious?
yeah, I am. So,
Gee, that's great. That's a great coup.
yeah, and it's going to be fantastic. We'll obviously pay some respect to those guys during the night and the players that played that day. Peter G, the great man from ABC, he's hosting the night.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Mate, you're kicking some goals here. Sort of how much and what's included, who will be in attendance, and who are the guest speakers on the night. So you're absolutely kicking some goals, except for how much and
Mate, it's $100 plus booking fee, and that includes a 2-course meal and a 2-hour drink package as well.
Way.
Yeah, no, listen, we
Jeez,
just
you
want
do a lot of damage in 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Oh, God,
I bet the boys could too that night, I guarantee you.
cut them off.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've been
No,
told.
Let me in the bar with a
Responsible
half
service,
hour
mate. That will be for you.
Plenty of RSA,
Oh,
KG5.
sorry. Oh, sorry. I thought we were
Seriously,
serious.
if you're in Tasmania, $100 for a 2-hour drink package, a 2-course meal.
Yes.
Where can you do that?
Meet and listen to all of these amazing players. I mean, man, this is fantastic.
Yeah, and listen, we're going to recognise two charities.
We're
So,
there. We're there.
yeah, brilliant. It'll be a pleasure
We're
to have
there,
you.
mate.
So,
We're there. Definitely.
Dare to Hope is one of our charities involved. So, after cost, money will go directly to Dare to Hope. So, that's a Melbourne-based charity for pancreatic cancer. Paul Deere, the ex-Hawthorn player, unfortunately passed away. His wife has started the charity. So, through that connection and funny, well, not funny enough, but he played that 1990 game for Victoria.
He did.
So we're recognising that. So 50% will go there and 50% will go to Food Bank Tasmania.
Well, that is fantastic. I mean, will there be things on the night that you can like auction off and
Yeah, there will be.
raffles and things that people can actually donate money as well?
100%. So there'll be a couple of items there, rare items. There'll be a limited edition jumper that'll be signed by the team.
Yeah.
And also another lovely little presentation that you won't be able to buy anywhere. So
Oh, Corey will be into that, mate, let me tell you.
yeah, loves it.
Here he is. Are we going? Yes, we're going, mate.
Yes.
We're going to go.
We're
So
going.
that's brilliant.
We'll definitely
Silly
be there.
question, Corey.
And also, the guys that sneak in on the Thursday and Fridays, they'll be in attendance as well. So there'll be probably 30 odd guys that are playing in the game that'll be there on the Friday night. So just another great occasion. It'll never happen again. So the first people in. So I think we've got a try booking set up or ticket booking set up on Facebook.
What sort of numbers can you fit in for
200.
200?
Yep.
I reckon you might do
Great,
that.
great
all right.
club rooms there.
Yeah, listen, wonderful facilities, easy
is.
access, plenty of car parking. They've got a lift there now. It just made it easy, and obviously,
There you go, Liz.
my relationship, they've looked after me a bit, which is nice.
Well, there you go, guys. It's on a Friday night on the 6th of October. The Friday Frothies might actually come live from that.
Well, we can set that up.
We might have a little go there.
We'll see what
talk to
happens.
Robbie Shaw.
Do a little
Yeah,
live
there's
song.
a couple of guys there that we know. So
Depends on how sober I am.
yeah, I know we're in trouble.
Restrained.
We're restrained.
Kidding.
Mate, thank you so much. That's
no worries.
been absolutely fantastic. We've probably gone a little bit over.
We always
That's
go
all
overtime,
good.
don't we?
No,
Hey,
thank you.
would you be
Hey,
happy
we're
to sit around
patient.
and talk a bit of sport with us?
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
what we do on this on the show, guys. If you haven't seen us before, Glenn and I are normally here, and guests stay on, and we go through and talk about sport, what's happened during the week, and you were going to throw something in then? You want to say something? You're right.
No, yeah, I was going to throw mud at you.
Yeah, that's nothing unusual. Ali, I'm going to go to Out With It. Out With It, guys.
Here we go.
Out with it!
What are we doing?
You're back.
Oh, we're
I
back.
just
Oh,
played the
geez, so
promo.
we're not.
I
We're
love
timing.
it.
Well done.
Fast as.
Where's the communication with the
Yeah.
producer and the
You like that? You like that? Look, there it is. Oh, Out With It. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
With more on bloody bloopers tonight than what we
Whoa. James, this is a segment called Out With It, and it's
Okay.
anything that gets on our goats during the week.
look out.
And there's
Christ,
a
lot
couple of
to-
them. There's a couple of them on there today, and I'd like you guys to join in, and I'd like you guys to ring in if you've got something that's really pissing you off at the moment. But my first one is, and I've got to be careful here because Razor Ray, good mate of ours,
Ah, yes.
she's doing a lot of work with the FIFA World Cup at the moment. All right.
Yeah, they're doing okay.
Well, I just wanted to say.
Is there any more injured though? Possibly.
I know
Sorry,
that
mate.
I know they're showing the games on Channel 7 when
Yeah.
Australia plays.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything other than that. How do you watch the FIFA World Cup? Am I living in the 60s or what's going on?
Yeah, that's an interesting. I don't have pay TV, but you'd think KO or
No, I got KO and it's not on KO.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
not on that. No.
Right.
It's not on Channel 7, it's not on KO. So guys, if you're out there and you're watching, please Radio, book, Angel, myself. Please let us know. Give us a call and have a talk to us about the FIFA Cup. And let us know.
You're not doing your homework.
No, I wanted someone to tell me.
Most of the gurus.
I wanted someone to tell me this.
We want a little
I
bit of
wanted
feedback.
someone to tell me
It's a
this.
test. You gotta
We
get on
make
the line,
out
it's a
we know.
test.
The
nothing.
second part of this is where we get loose, right?
Okay.
The second part of this, and once again, I'm not having a crack because this woman is fantastic. She is a legend. Kids look up to her. She is an amazing player. And I'm talking Sam Kerr.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit sick of Sam Kerr and nothing else about the rest of the team.
Yeah.
No.
Because there are, I don't know how many people are on that team, but I don't know any of their names except for this Mary girl who just got put out because she was injured.
Yes.
But all I ever hear is Sam Kerr, Sam Kerr. What about the other girls? Give them a run, for God's sake. That really annoys me. So,
Well, they've spoken her up.
Oh.
She's the world champion, apparently.
Shelley just said it's
Kerr,
on
but-
Disney Plus.
Well, who watches that?
Is that true, Shelley? Disney Plus.
What?
I thought Disney Plus was like where you go to watch
No,
Frozen and stuff.
you know who owns the rights? It's Optus.
Right,
That's why we're not getting it.
right. So who has Optus?
Well, anyone who has, I've got Optus on my phone. That's my carrier.
Jeez, I didn't even know they were still around, Optus.
Yeah, no. And you can't even get Optus in Tasmania. So even if you wanted to watch them, you'd use your Optus phone, and it wouldn't work anyway.
So there you go.
Oh, what a setup that is.
It's
Well, yeah,
rubbish.
I was worried about Friday Frothy, but they can't even organise themselves for the worldwide carnival.
No,
we're loose, mate.
We have got a fantastic friend who was actually doing a lot of work for FIFA, and she's probably not on today because she's just flying the country. And Razor Ray, if you're watching, I know you will later.
She's
Big
a good
shout out
girl.
to you.
She's a great girl.
Does a lot of work.
She
And
does, and tied up with Supergirl. She used to do all the supercars, didn't she?
she did. She was
through.
supercars.
You do make a good point, though.
Yeah.
There is more people than one individual representing the
Well,
Matildas.
how many players in a soccer team?
Oh, I couldn't too. I'm
Well,
not,
you
a,
are,
I'm not a
they're
soccer
like
person.
Well,
but
They've got a squad. There's a
30,
squad.
30,
Well,
40.
why are you saying that?
Let's say 12.
Even the Test
Yeah.
cricket
Yes.
that's been on in England, that's only on
Yeah, it
Channel
might be.
9.
I don't know.
Oh, really?
What constitutes a
Yeah,
squad?
That's not on any other channel. Can you realise that? Oh, Channel 8, sorry.
Well,
If
it's just
anyone's out
less.
there and they know how
Eight's
many
not-
on
I
the
know.
soccer side, let me know.
But yeah, that's only on that. That's not on KO, that.
It was a story of fun. Let's just jump straight into the cricket, guys. This is not about the cricket. This is about out with it. So it's another thing that's got on my noggin. And it's that Piers bloody Morgan. You got a picture of Piers?
Oh, yeah.
It's the best one that I can find
I'll
of him.
tell you, you keep talking, you guys. I'll tell you what I think about Piers Morgan.
No, don't go away.
He's leaving. He's leaving.
Can I join you?
I don't like Piers
Do you
Morgan.
mind if I join you?
Don't trip over
He's
anything.
going for a beer
I
break,
said, this is great.
mate.
Don't kick any cords.
He's
Hey,
labelled.
Piers Morgan.
He's labelled Pat Cummins
Yes.
as a team of cheating convicts.
That's what I'm about.
Disgusting.
What was that?
Off air, we actually talked about this, didn't we, earlier?
What did he say?
They come out and say something early days, but you move on. But they're just bagging us and bagging us. So you know what? Let's hope we can bat through the whole day today and
Yeah.
get 450,
Yeah.
and then roll them, and then get on the plane, get out of there.
I just don't know what
Yeah,
Piers Morgan
yeah.
that's going to say if we do beat him.
I
What's he
want
going
to
to
know
say?
why you've got a picture of Piers Morgan in hospital.
Look at that. That's the best picture I can find of him. Look at him.
Hey, listen, there's a fair chance he'll end up in hospital too.
There is.
Nice
There is.
picture choice.
So basically, he's crying over the rain.
It's disappointing.
He's look, it's.
What does he actually know about cricket? What's his
He
background?
probably doesn't know anything. He's
Except
just,
for being a broadcaster, I don't think
Balls?
he's
all right, guys. Guys, the last thing I've got for out with it is the treatment of form slump players, and I'm going to start off with David Warner at the moment. David Warner has done so much for Australian cricket. He has played so well. He's been, you go back and you have a look at some of his records, and I'm sick to death of reading, get rid of him, he's got to go, he's this, he's that.
Yes.
No one looks back at these players of what they've done in the past. And I get, they're struggling with the game at the moment, and my team's North Melbourne, and I'm going to throw in North Melbourne supporters at the moment. They're against Jack Zeeble, all right, who's retired.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He's
Yeah.
retiring. He's announced it.
retiring.
He's
He's
announced his
called it.
retirement.
I didn't know that. There you go.
Todd Goldstein, they're calling for him.
Great servants.
He's been
Yeah,
fantastic
they've
for
been
the
great
club.
servants. He could have gone elsewhere.
Well, Todd Goldstein was playing down here when it was the Devils.
Correct.
Cunnington, they're calling for Cunnington's head. Oh, too slow. We need some new players. I just get really annoyed, guys, with the fact that these people,
Yeah, the
not
legends
just
of the
North
game.
Melbourne,
That's right.
they've
But
done
it's just not Dave Warner.
they've done so well for our country, and we just forget about it all of a sudden because he can't hit runs in it. So get rid of him. He's crap. It annoys me.
Yeah, good point. I'm the same. Listen, Dave Warner's done some wonderful things. So I think one of the worst things we do is we forget that people make mistakes, but hopefully they learn from experiences and become better people. Now, whatever happened in South Africa happened. That's a long time ago.
It's gone,
Move on.
and they paid for it.
And let's be honest, 5 tests to go or 6 tests to go, which can be 6 innings, could be 12 innings, whatever it be. The bloke scores 200. He's been a wonderful player. Listen, I think they're a bit harsh.
For every cricketer, and they've got short memories. Even the great Ricky Ponting and that. If you remember towards the end, every Greg Chappell.
Yes.
If you go back,
Steve Waugh.
have a look at their last couple of scores.
Yeah.
Duck.
Yeah.
And they were getting out fairly cheaply, but when your number's up, it's up, and it happens to every sports person, whether they're the best in the world or whatever. And look, our time comes, and unfortunately, it probably has come for Dave Warner. But the thing is, what you're saying, Jeff, is they've got to celebrate just how great he's been, and they was never going to replace him. How could they replace him at the last test?
You know what amazes me? Dave Warner, I'm sorry to cut in, Dave Warner is one of those rare players, like they talk about Gilchrist and the way he used to bat and stuff. So Dave Warner, like who in Shield cricket at the moment goes around and potentially punches 100 off the first 50 balls like this bloke does.
And he's no.
That's right.
Hello, who's this? Hello, we've got this.
This is live, isn't it?
It is very live.
Dangerous.
It could be. I didn't even know how to answer it.
Wow.
Hello, the Friday Frothy. You're talking to Jeff, Glenn, and James.
I'd like to bring up something and out with it, and it's about a meat tray that was supposed to be supplied a number of years ago to a winner of a quiz.
I can't
It's
believe.
never happened.
I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe you're doing this on live TV, mate. Hey?
I thought it'd be a great opportunity.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Brent. Hey, actually, just while you're on there, can everyone hear him okay? Because I'd like to know if that's the case.
Even I can hear.
How are you, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah,
going really well.
Going well?
Yeah.
Yes, mate. Corey from Corey's Garden Landscaping's person talked to you about your meat tray, and he's on there watching at the moment.
I'd probably say, Rent's probably a little bit off at the moment. It's probably a fair while.
It's been in my car for quite a while, Brent.
It's a bit
It has. Supposedly there was going to be barbecues. There was going to be lots of things.
There still is. There still is. Hey, mate.
Hey, mate, it could be a little bit like our, what's his name? Shearer. Dale Shearer. It might be a little bit like our Dale Shearer interview, mate.
How's this, Brent? For being the very first caller ever on the Friday Frothy show, you won yourself a meat tray.
Bloody hey! I wanted the meat tray. And you got it. Well done, mate. Jeez, how good is that? I didn't even have to spin the wheel.
We can't tell you when you're going to get it, but you'll get it. All right? COVID, that's all out for COVID, mate.
Hey, listen,
we'll get the flying pigeons ready to get us mate.
While we've got you on the phone, he's actually going to come down and have a dinner with us one night for the Frog.
Love that.
Hey, mate, just while we're on it, what are your thoughts on the treatment of Dave Warner? We all know he's done the wrong thing by Sandpaper Gate and all that sort of stuff, but he's been a bloody great player for Australia. Do you think it's right for him to be accused and kicked out of the team like everyone wants?
Mate, I don't know that it's about being kicked out of the team. Like, when you look at his form lately hasn't been great. You know, he's had a lot of opportunities, he's had a lot of start, but the guy's not hitting big runs, you know. So, yeah, look, it's definitely been a stalwart. There's no problem there, and he's been a great player. But I just wonder if there's somebody out there that's 10 years younger than him, 12 years younger than him, and that he's stopping an opportunity.
No,
well,
that's a fair call.
Very good call, Brent. So something, I mean, you guys can educate me too. So when they pick the team to go over to England, how many reserves are there? Then I know Harris is over there for probably Warner. Is there any more?
I don't know.
I mean, there's a guy. You know, when they were struggling and we were getting. The fast bowler from England who was bowling at our head at 155 clicks wood. There's a guy Barnes, isn't there? That from WA
played for Geelong.
No, not Johnny. No, Barnes. I think it's Barnes. I've probably got the wrong name.
Lisa.
No, this guy can bowl at 150, 155 clicks, and I thought it would have been good to let him go.
Have a go, yeah.
On, when they were saying that Cummins and them were struggling. But I just wondered how many extra fast bowlers, extra opening batsmen and that they actually had to pick from.
So Brent, anything else getting under your goat this week, mate, with sport?
No, mate, only sport. No, I don't think so. No, it's Meat Tray Gate, and that was about it.
I think, Brent, that's enough, isn't it?
All right. Well, you've done the deal, mate. You're coming in next fortnight, and we'll have a barbecue before we start the show.
Yeah.
Good
thing is we'll present you with the barbecue, mate, and we'll eat it with you.
There you go.
How lucky is he?
Hey?
How lucky is he? I got nothing, Brent.
No, he got nothing.
I got nothing.
Yeah, what's the sarsaparilla?
Yeah, I just tried the sauce. I like it.
You're not it.
Well, I couldn't because we're.
Yeah, I know it's a bit noisy.
Cheapest
No respect for us.
Cheapest bar in Tasmania here. We got here.
Well, mate, thank you so much for giving us a call. That is awesome.
Appreciate it. Not a problem at all, Jeff.
Anyone out there who wants to bring up anything or just have a bit of a chat, guys, get on the phone. 03 6128 3834. Log it into your phone, save it, get it on, and give us a call at any time.
No, well done, Brent.
Thanks, Brent.
All right.
No worries. All right, mate. Catch you.
See you, guys. Bye.
Jeff. We're talking about North Melbourne.
Game of the round.
No,
There we go.
4 picks.
Yes,
in
I
the
know.
top 20, mate. What's going on?
Yeah.
Do you get a priority with that? Is that 5 or is that?
It's been announced.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
North to pick
four
up
out of
4 picks in the top 20 at the draft. So
Yeah.
that's last year's pick, which would be
Yeah, they gave away some.
Adelaide. Port Adelaide was what's his name? Horn Francis.
Yes.
Jason Horn Francis.
Yes.
Okay, so there's one.
What a dud.
They'll finish.
Oh, hang on. That was out with it. We're done.
Oh, we're done. Oh, sorry, mate. Was that out with it?
Yeah, no, I've got a phone rotating.
Out with it!
It's loose.
I can see that. The
Mate,
producers, I'm
There
just
we
worried
go.
about her.
Hey, she's not with us. Now you can pour yourself right.
Is that all right?
Yeah, bring it up
go
the
for it.
glass and go for it. While you're doing that, Shelley just said,
Pins and needles.
Shelley in WA said Channel 7 are only showing 15 of the 64 games. The rest are at Optus Sports.
Yeah, I think it's just the
And
rest of
7
them
will
is too
show
long.
the finals matches as well. Thank you, Shelley from Western
Well
Australia.
done, Shelley. Yeah. There you go. So that's interesting.
She's my little sports guru. She just gets the stats and chucks them up.
Fantastic.
I've got a couple of people like that.
So North there, mate, they could do quite well.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Being a North Melbourne supporter, as you guys would know.
Well, I'd like to see North
4 in the
do
top
well,
20.
and I'd like to see my side get back up there too. But... Sorry, mate.
Of course you do. Guys, of course you do. Now, Richmond's looking for a new coach, as we know. Damien Hardwick has left. They've put a board on, and they've taken Melbourne Storm's administrator. His name is Frank Ponesi.
I thought he was going to say Frank
Ponesi.
Spring.
They reckon that they've got a six person panel. They're going to try and lock someone in as a new coach, and they've got already a short list of players. And the reason I'm leading you into this is Damien Hardwick is currently on holidays overseas. All right.
I think he came back.
No, he's still overseas. I think he's got at least another month to go.
Okay.
My question to you guys is,
Was it done?
Damien Hardwick comes back
Yeah.
and says to the Gold Coast Suns, I'm not interested. What the hell happens? Because Ken Hinckley's going to be signed up. Bloody Chris Scott's going to be signed up. There's going to be no more
Well, he's not
coaches
going
left.
anywhere. Chris Scott's not going
So if seriously, if he comes back and says, I'm not interested in Gold Coast, where does that leave Gold Coast?
Well, I think it's amazing, to be honest with you. Like, obviously, the bloke's coached very well at the Richmond Football Club for a long period of time and needed a break. And I don't think 2 or 3 months is enough, to be honest with you.
Okay, Eric.
No, it's not. And
It's not.
Listen, without doubt, Damien Hardwick will coach again, but I noticed Justin Lepage has pulled out. He said no to both jobs.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Well, he's doing
Lepage.
gangbusters at the moment. Isn't he? I mean, he went through hell, didn't he?
He
With
did,
his
mate. So
coaching. I don't blame him.
yeah, so
Fair enough.
he's at Collingwood now at the moment,
Yeah.
and obviously having a lot of fun in the background.
You wouldn't want to move, would you?
Yeah, it's the same at Richmond. You just sort of wonder, McQualter's obviously done a reasonable job and very respected by the playing group, but he's also spent a long period of time with Damien Hardwick. So, a different voice, but is he has he changed things up, or is he sort of towing the line, or doing the same sort of training drills that Dimmer was doing when he was coaching? So that'd be interesting. And I guess for us, with all these things that go on at AFL clubs and stuff, we only see what we've seen on TV.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we there's a lot of stuff that happens.
Do we all get sucked in with all the media thing? Do we listen too much to the media? Do they fill our brains with, it was a done deal? Hardwick to the Gold Coast. And they were talking about that ages ago. What I could see is that he's one of his very good mates, and that is fair dinkum, is that he is a good mate of Clarko's.
Yes.
And I think the way that he saw his departure and demise, I suppose, with what was going on, again, he was pretty upfront. He didn't. I like that. I like the fact that there's no bullshit. Straight in, and he just said, well, okay, well, I don't want to go out that way. I'll go out my way.
Yep.
And the club is in a good position, which it is, and they've got some talent there still on their list, even though your Jack Rewalsh and them are going to possibly leave, but they've set themselves up, I think, Richmond, and they'll get good draft picks again. Yeah. They obviously got the two guys from GWS.
Yeah, been great
and
players.
They've been great players, especially Taranto.
Yes.
I don't think he has to. Does he have to rush it? If he doesn't get it, does he have to rush? Because
I think the thing, Stewie Dew, they lose 2 games against the 2 best sides in the Port Adelaide, and all of a sudden he's out of the job.
Yeah.
But he'd also been there for a great period of time as well.
You ready for this one? Yeah. Here we go again.
The bat phone, mate.
Good evening, the Friday Frothy.
Hey, it's Juanita from WA.
Juanita!
Hey, Juanita, just before you go on, how warm is it over there?
What's the temp?
Oh, it's cold over here.
Is it really?
Oh, we're sitting here sweltering over here.
It's not.
We're sweltering. It's beautiful. What?
It's not. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How you doing?
I make a laugh all the time.
I'm doing really well, but how about them darts?
Hey, listen. I'll go back to the first page of my thingo. He is now in number 12. Number 12 in the world. We're talking Damon Header.
He's a star, mate. You knew he was a star.
Hey?
He's a star.
How good is that?
And that's amazing. Absolutely. And he's breaking the hoodoo on the television.
Yeah. What a shame he couldn't go further, but look, he's done so well. And I went back and had a look at one of our interviews. This is Damon Header, the dart player, dart player.
In England?
He's
living in England.
I went back and had a look at one of our first interviews with him, and the fact that he was talking about going over to this big move into the World Cup, into World Darts, and basically all he wanted to do was get into the top 50, and then the top 30.
Well, he's blitzed that,
and he's now top 12. He's just absolutely blown anything that he wanted to do away. So he's done so well.
And that's the thing. He's only been there. It'll be 4 years this year. I mean, it's amazing. But the other thing is, too, as well, have you heard the news? He is now being bumped up from a country representative to a PDC representative.
No way.
For the Darts Masters.
Really?
Yes.
So what's that mean?
Johnny Clayton's had to pull out
due
to his family. And so with the fact of getting visas and things like that, they've bumped him up to be a PDC representative, and so which has now added in 2 more spots for another Australian representative and another New Zealand representative.
Oh, that is fantastic.
So
that is
we've got Warren Perry, who is going to be in New Zealand.
Yep.
And I've forgotten the other guy's name for Australia, the New South Wales one in Wollongong. But yeah, so there's another 2 extra players, so which would be amazing for them, you know.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant.
That's why we call him the Heat, mate. Yeah. And he brings it every time.
How far do you think away he is from getting in the top 10?
That's his goal this year.
Yeah, okay.
Damo's goal this year is to get into the top 10.
Yep.
But if this is where all the money, the money tournaments now come in.
Yeah.
So you'll start because this is the back end of the season is always the busiest end of the season.
Yeah.
So, and it was really interesting. I was watching another YouTuber, and he was doing stats on how much money he's gotten well, you've got people like Van Gerwen and Price. They've doubled the amount of money, but most of theirs has come from television tournaments. His has come from the floor events and from the Euros.
Yeah, he's done extremely well, hasn't he?
Yeah, and so if he starts winning and getting longer runs in these television tournaments, yeah, he'll make even the top 8, I think, without too many problems.
That's amazing. Now you're actually related to Damon Hitter, aren't you?
I am. I'm his aunt, so his dad is my brother.
His dad is your... cool. Well, mate, he is doing some exceptional work. We're so proud of him, mate.
We were blessed.
Well, I hope you're going to get to catch up with him in the next few days because he's currently home here at the moment, so he's spending time at home catching up with family and stuff.
Yep.
And then he'll be off to New Zealand, and then from New Zealand to Wollongong, and then from... New South Wales back on the tour. So,
back overseas again.
Well, I don't reckon...
Well, if you... Yeah. Sorry, what was that, Glenn?
I was just going to say, I don't think he'll be jumping on the roof anytime soon. The tours, will he?
No, the roofing's finished.
No.
I'll only be throwing darts from...
and jumping on the roof. But the other thing, too, as well, is that for him... I don't know if you've had a chance to see any of his games. I watched a lot of the match play.
Yes.
And he's now taken his wacky walk-ons now onto normal kind of back-end tournaments now. So he came out in cricket stuff.
Well,
I love his wacky walk-ons.
Well, just
his wacky walk-ons.
Just for everyone, Juanita and for James sitting beside me, we're talking about Damon the Heat Header. He's a darts player from WA. He went over 4 years ago to England to become a professional dart player.
Yes.
And he's absolutely gone he's gone from 50th down to 12 within a year or something like that. And Juanita's just saying that he now comes on to relax himself. He comes out dressed in different clothes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's been coming out with the with the Australian baggy green and a ball. And the crowd's been booing him.
He's absolutely brilliant.
He was cheering squad,
But he loves it. It's the banter.
It's
the
been
banter
great.
And the crowd were brilliant.
It has been great. Hey, Juanita,
we
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you so much for ringing up. Fantastic to actually talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now,
I went, where's that number? I got to get that number. That number wasn't right when I put it in my phone.
Well,
now I've got it.
save it, because we got more guests coming up in the future, and save it. You can ring us up and talk to us anytime we're on the show.
But you're one of our greatest guests.
I'd love to catch up with you guys.
That is brilliant.
Not a problem.
Thank you so much for ringing in. It's just fantastic to talk to you.
You're welcome. Have a great one, guys. Enjoying the Frothy tonight.
Thanks, Juanita. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, how good is that?
She's
brilliant.
Girl.
That is brilliant.
Juanita's been watching us for since
long
we started.
time there. I don't know.
And
She puts up with us.
Is she normal?
Hey?
Is she normal? Watching you all the time?
Oh,
What's going on here?
Hey, sometimes we're okay.
I have to live with him.
Well, that's a good point
That's not
too.
normal.
All right, guys, back onto this quickly. Just a bit more AFL. If Port Adelaide loses this Saturday night in the showdown against Adelaide, the Lions will finish the weekend in second spot if they beat Gold Coast Sun.
Yes. Well, they will, Jeff, and probably interesting.
And they need to, Glenn, because they can't win at the MCG.
Well,
So
I think I said to you earlier, I like the way things were hotting up. It looked like, obviously, geez, I hope my brother's not watching this. All you Collingwood supporters out there. Collingwood, it looks like them and at Port, I thought, but then you can't. I know what you're going to say, Geelong.
yeah, Geelong's always there.
Itching away out there. And the fact that now that Brisbane with young Ashcroft has gone down, which is is really bad.
Yep.
It's hotting up. So can they? The questions are: can they win in Melbourne? And as you said, can Port get over Adelaide over there?
Yeah.
Very big game.
It is.
A few
Huge.
players back for Port. I don't think Butters was right. A couple of guys were not right in the last couple of games, but they had won 13 straight. So they dropped one.
Can I ask you guys a question? What's the big deal about Ken Hinkley and not wanting to sign him up? And I mean, well, why would you do this to a coach that's won 30 in a row?
Well, I don't know, because it's so hard to win premierships. It doesn't matter if you're in TFL or Victorian football. I mean, they don't come along, they only come in once in a while, and You know, I mean, the sides of Brisbane and you know, obviously my side and a couple of these others, Geelong, they've always been up there. But when they start talking about, I mean, they're having a crack at Gold Coast. Probably pretty hard, as they said, because, I mean, you know, you look at St Kilda, sorry Aussie, the workmate out there, but 1966, right? The Swans,
Yes.
you know, they broke through and no one was, I think everyone in Australia, when they won, was pleased. Western Bulldogs. So, you know, I could turn around and say it's the Saints' turn or something like that. But see, Port now, it's a while since they've won.
2004.
2004. So, we you know, when we start talking 2010, you know, before, I mean, time goes real quick. And they're not easy to win, that's what I'm going to say. But anyway.
I think he's done a great job. Ken Hinkley's outstanding.
Oh, for sure. That's what I mean. What's he done wrong?
Yeah, nothing. And
nothing,
listen,
Jeff.
obviously
Well,
the
good
players,
point.
they
Good
play for
point.
it. They
Good
play for
point.
it. You see them on the bench, mate.
But if you were the coach of, if you're Ken Hinkley right now and you're the coach, unless there's some inside information that's going on, they're saying, "Hey mate, it's okay, we've got you covered."
Yes.
But if they're not doing that, what are you thinking at the moment? You're thinking
They're
that
performance based.
These bastards.
It's all about performance,
Yeah.
performance.
I know.
They are performing.
Yes.
What he's done, he's a little bit like Hardwick. He's reinvented himself about 3 to 4 times
Yes.
within coaching Port Adelaide over the years. Their team's changed. He's changed with the times.
Yep.
And
Mate, he's made some bold moves.
yeah, he's made some bold
Mate,
moves.
The
Yeah.
captain's been dropped, and he's
That's
come
right.
back, and he's been dropped again, Jonas.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you'd have to say his future's under the pump, and he's got some tough calls, mate. Travis Boak's coming to the end. He's been a superstar. But,
Yeah, sure
mate,
is.
they've been a great team this year. Mate, the Crows are. You know, I think the Crows are stiff last Sunday against
They
Melbourne.
were.
They should have got the win.
They should
You
have
know?
beaten Collingwood going
Yeah.
back a couple of weeks ago, and they couldn't kick straight.
That's correct. So they're a very exciting team as well.
All right, guys, I'm just going to quickly throw into NRL. We'll talk a bit of NRL stuff, but headgear, before we go AFL, headgear and mouth guards look like they're coming soon. It's going to be a permanent fixture in the AFL after the Shane Tuck investigations they've been doing.
What, they are going to use it?
It looks like the headgear will
Well,
be...
if they're going to keep changing the rules, bloody wear them.
So you're saying straight eye?
I don't know.
Or like 2 knocks or 3 knocks, and then they put it
No,
on?
all I've seen is that headgear and mouth guards might be compulsory in AFL football.
I always
so-
thought mouth guards.
I was just to say, I thought
Yeah.
mouth guards were
Yeah.
compulsory.
Well, mouth guards were. I think one of the last guys was Wingard. Actually, he had.
That's right.
He didn't have one on. It was up here. It was
Is
up
that
in
right?
Lonnie. Yeah, he got
Yeah, okay.
had nearly his teeth knocked out. But the thing is, with the headgear, if you remember when we spoke to. I was
Jeff
going
Horn.
to put it back to you,
Jeff Horn.
Horn. And what did he say about headgear? Can you remember?
Jeff Horn in his interview said that with the headgear on, you're not particularly more safe, but you feel more bulletproof. So you tend to keep the guard down because you know you've got your headgear on. So
That's interesting.
yeah, he thought the headgear was a disadvantage. not an
He said he got
advantage.
cut. He get cut a lot too through his
Yeah.
boxing. I know it's not boxing, but the little guy from Western Bulldogs,
Daniel.
Carlos Daniel, he's wearing it. The guy from Melbourne in the middle,
Angus
you know,
Brayshaw.
Angus Brayshaw.
Yeah. And I wish Paddy McCartan had.
Paddy
Yeah,
McCartney,
he's
now,
gone.
there's a
Yes.
guy. Well, look, you know, who cares what colour hair they're, you know, whether it's grey, bald,
Yes.
whatever.
What are you
At the
trying
end
to
of
say,
the
mate?
day,
What are you trying to say?
oh, I think you're great. But look, if you're going to, I just think if they don't have to keep changing the rules and we can tackle again, put a bloody helmet on.
Yeah,
Does it really matter?
exactly right.
I mean, because gridiron they wear a full
everything.
bloody helmet. And
Everything.
All that.
Yeah.
So
Probably the one for me, just quickly, is with the Paddy McCartan. Obviously, take interest because he's a.
well, it is. He's
Why
a
didn't he wear one
fantastic
when he got
player.
when he got the green light to play with Sydney?
Yeah.
Why didn't he wear one?
Yeah.
I know.
I just struggle with that. I just go, mate, you spend a lot of time.
You know where it's at.
Yeah, you got a green light again,
Yeah.
and then you played wonderful footy for 12 months.
Yep.
And then he didn't even knock his head that last incident with the SCG.
It was one of the ugliest things because it looked like he didn't even get hit.
Correct.
And I meant you.
He didn't touch the ground or anything.
Just to see that kid in all that trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, football's a great game and we all love it, but his life is
Yes, it's more important than a game of
his
football.
life's more important than
100%.
any football game.
Razor Ray, we've already talked FIFA.
Razor,
There you go,
there you
Razor.
go.
Here's a bit for Robbie Thompson. Razor, we've got a phone number if you want to ring in and see and talk to us about how FIFA's going.
And congratulations again on the wedding.
I'll put the number up in a second. I'll just put it on Facebook first.
Ray.
Well, she's on Facebook, Razor Ray.
yeah?
Tina Kelly's watching. Hey, teens, how you going? What is the number?
Well, the number.
What's the number?
03, it's made brand new. 0361283834. Razor Ray,
this is
if
so
you want to
professional.
dial in and
Holding
talk
a
to us
piece of
about
paper in front of
FIFA,
the camera.
go for it. This is going to be a long show.
Guys,
Guys,
yes, I was just going to say quickly, mate, basketball news. I'm going to read this because I thought this was good. But,
will you flip the page? What's going on?
I've just flicked the page there. And I thought this is nuts because you said this is nuts.
This is nuts.
Jaylen Brown has agreed to sign the richest deal in NBA history.
This is nuts.
With the Boston Celtics, a 5-year, now this is what we're going to talk, $304 million. If I was Eddie McGuire, how would I say
American.
that?
That's American.
American, there, exactly. Super max extension. His agent, Jason Glashan. Did I say that right? I did. The figure is bonkers. 450 million Australian dollars.
You said it wrong, Glenn. You got to do this.
Dr. Evil. Yeah, sorry, you're right. So money in sport, guys. Me and Jeff have been talking about this for years.
5-year deal.
What do you think about Australian rules footballers or cricketers or Australian sport compared to this sort of money? I mean, that's
It's outrageous. I struggle,
this is ridiculous. We're talking about.
It's between 50 and $70 million a year, American.
Yeah, we're talking a stadium. It's just nearly a stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
One
struggle.
night.
I honestly do struggle. I struggle with, and I understand people have got lives and families and stuff
That's
and got to look after, but I really struggle with the BBL and some of the guys that go and play the IPL for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
I really struggle
I
with
do
that.
too because it's just money. But what happened to playing for your jumper and playing for the team and being I don't know.
Those days are
That's
gone, haven't
ridiculous. They're gone. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But good on him, like
thing.
Jaylen Brown. But. He's new big deal over there, but 450 Australian million
Well,
dollars.
obviously, the people over there are happy to pay it.
Well, they're happy to pay it.
Good luck to his manager for negotiating that. But
exactly.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to see too many AFL footballers ever get 450 million.
No.
That's crazy, isn't it? Guys, I'm just going to race through this. NRL players, a couple of weeks ago, they stopped talking to the media. They're after a bit of a pay dispute. They stopped talking to the media. This week, they've upped the ante and they're actually putting patches over their NRL logos on their jerseys.
Really?
This is what we got to talking about pay disputes. They want more money. Everyone wants more money. The Matildas, they want more money.
Yes.
The AFL female players want some more money, but they've actually come back and said, well, we're not getting crowds, so we don't have the money to pay you. So that's really tough.
That's where we're at.
But anyway.
That's it, mate.
Anyway.
Jason Day.
Mate, Jason Day, how good is he?
How did he came home like a Bondi tram, mate?
He's been missing.
Did I say Bondi tram?
He's been missing for ages,
Bondi
and it's
tram
great to see him back in form and starting to.
He's a gun,
mate. How about this one? Nick Kyrgios. He reckons he's ready to give up tennis. Does anyone actually care? I mean, seriously,
great tennis player, but if look, he's an individual. I probably disagree. He's
a different cat.
He's a different cat, and he plays with his heart on his sleeve. He's got that temper, I suppose. But
also, you heard what he said?
No.
He said, once I'm gone, you won't see
Oh,
me.
you'll never see me again.
Exactly.
I thought Anthony Mundine said that, and maybe Jeff Kennett, when he's going to be president, you'll never hear from me. Jeff Kennett said, you'll never hear from me.
He's back, and he's back, he's back,
Yeah,
he's
that's
back.
it. Monday was
Danny Green said, "Oh no, Mundine's coming back. He's coming back."
Yes.
But the thing about Kyrgios, he reckons that it's the party life that's ruined his career. So.
Oh, well then don't party.
Well, who's responsible for that?
Well,
Exactly.
The individual.
So
Where's
that's
the
like
dollars?
you, Jeff. You've
Hey,
ruined
he's
me.
admitted that though. So
Party
Yeah.
life.
But I think the sad thing is he'll never fulfil the potential he had.
No,
No,
There's a couple
exactly,
of boys.
and you're right.
Yeah, there's a couple of
gone.
Australians on the circuit that could have been really special.
Hey, Robbie Thompson,
and that's
Hey,
on
Rob.
him. So
That's right.
Robbie,
it's a shame.
great Northern there, mate.
guys,
On the BB.
just quickly before we finish up, boxing. Did you see the Taylor Harris punch?
Oh, she got
you got a picture of that?
Yes.
First time she's been
Yeah.
clocked. That's the first time she's really
No
been clocked.
damage though.
That is a shocker.
Nasty.
But,
no,
Just enlarge it a bit
Actually,
more.
can
There we
you
go.
can you tell me who she fought?
Check
It's
that
in your
out.
notes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Actually,
Sorry,
I can tell you what. I'm going to put it in front. Both of us are going to have a go at it.
Come
Now,
on. Come on, you two.
Was you going the first word or the last word? I'll go the first one.
Oh, the easy one.
Millicent.
Okay.
Did you like that? Was that good?
Millicent, absolutely,
Yeah,
100%
you happy with
correct.
that? Now you have a go at that, and then I'm going to have it. I'll have a go over this.
All I'm going to say is I
Because I've got
suggest,
no idea.
I
What do
suggest
you
there's some
reckon?
silent letters there.
Okay.
Boggle.
Just have a
Boggle.
crack.
Boggle.
Something Bullen.
That'll do.
A Bullen.
Egga Bullens.
But it's the bottom line is she got the crap
And
beaten
she
out
can
of her.
fight.
I'll tell you
A
what.
Bullen.
Jesus.
She was Nigerian. I'll tell you what, she punched like a horse.
Ladies and gentlemen, V8s are on tomorrow. Practice starts from 12 p.m. Races at 8 p.m. at night, guys. You like the night racing for V8 supercars?
Something different.
It's all right.
Don't know if I'm a fan.
Hey, Jeff, it's good if they've got the lights on. Yeah.
What did I have?
What?
What should
The
I have?
lights.
now?
I said it's good at racing at night. I said it's good if they got the lights
It's
on.
Is it
good
the
if they
first
got
time?
lights on.
Got to be responsible.
No.
You gotta
No.
drive.
Okay, so it's not a novelty.
They've done it before. I'm not a huge fan of it, but
No.
I don't run the V8 supercar, so
With all due respect, there's probably mature age people, and I'm mature age now, I'm 50, struggle at night time to see.
well, yes,
Don't we?
and stay awake.
See?
Correct, so we struggle. But for the young punks and
The race starts at 8 p.m.
it's weird.
It's past my bedtime.
It's late, isn't it?
That's crazy.
It's not past
Have you guys any news on Daniel Ricciardo? Did he go all right?
Got no idea.
I'm not certain that he finished the race, but I did follow it logging in.
Phone in if you know
Phone
anything
in
about
if you're
Daniel
a Daniel
Ricciardo.
Ricciardo
All right,
fan.
all right. This is it. Cleve's tips. We're on the
Oh,
home
really?
straight. Home straight. Cleve's tips.
Okay, just give me a second.
I didn't know Kate
I didn't even know we had Cleve's tips, but here we go.
Oh, no,
Here it comes,
he
here it
done
comes.
me
I got
with
it,
the
I got it.
racing.
Here it goes.
Oh,
Hello
Throw it
everybody,
in.
and today
Just throw
it's
it in.
time for Cleve's
It's
Tips.
done.
You waiting
There
for
it
me
is.
now to
Here we go.
Aha!
Cleve's tips. Used to be horse racing, but we banned him.
They banned me because people won too much
He was
money.
winning too much
losing
money.
too much.
Really?
Ah,
We had to save his
This
house.
isn't like mixed multis, is
Hey,
it?
I'm only human. I mean,
That's
hello.
about
Cleve, Saturday night, 29th of July, Heritage Bank Stadium. Brisbane's playing the Suns.
$1.48.
$1.48 for Brisbane.
Versus the Suns.
The Suns
The
for
Q clash.
$3.40. The Q clash. Who you want and
it's
why?
at Heritage Bank. That would be on the Gold Coast. They call that, don't they? Heritage Bank.
Used to be Metricon.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
Metricon.
that's nice.
Tough
Yeah.
one, Jeff. Because Brisbane have got a lot more to play for, I'll have to go for Brisbane, even though they've lost the young gun.
It's not like that anymore, Juanita. It's not like that.
Did she have an hour?
No, Juanita said mortgage time.
Oh, no, that's all right.
Oh, and she also said that Dan finished 13th.
Oh, did you?
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Thanks, Juanita.
Thank you. So, yeah, Brisbane. I think, Jeff. What do you guys reckon? No?
Yeah, Brisbane for me.
Brisbane certainly, I think in recent history, they've builded the Gold Coast most times.
Yep.
Jeffy?
On now, Glennie, the fifth test, Australia versus England. Australia's at $1.84, England $2.60, the draw at $7. Who are we on?
Well, I can tell you now, it won't be a draw. Unless it rains. And I don't think they said rain, did they, boys? or not?
No.
If they didn't say rain, I'll tell you what, she's a...
Come on, mate, what are you doing?
Mate,
Come on, please, tips.
Because I love the Poms. No, Australia win easy.
Australia?
Easy. $1.84, mate.
Call it. Just call it.
Listen, I would hope, as I said earlier, they'll bat and get 450.
Yeah, that's
Then
what
we'll
I'm
smack
hoping
'em.
for.
We'll roll them. I think.
Jeez, I've lost my bloody job. That's what I was going to say. I didn't even open my mouth.
Got a fill-in when you're
listen,
not here.
Friday Frothies, and I'm on sarsaparilla.
But, hey, it's good bloody sarsaparilla,
It
isn't
is
it?
nice
It's
sarsaparilla.
good sarse.
Didn't you tell him what percent that sarsaparilla was?
5%. 5%.
1 for 73.
Monday, the 31st of July at 8 p.m, Glennie. FIFA World Cup, Australia, $2.90 versus Canada, $2.40. Or the draw for $3.30.
Okay.
So where are we at there, mate? Australia versus Canada.
Well,
FIFA World Cup.
as you said, if the greatest player on earth ever plays, Sam Kerr, I'll say Australia win.
Is she going to play?
Well, no one knows because it's going to be because
Razor Ray would know.
It's a
Razor Ray,
Razor,
is
is she
Sam
playing?
Kerr going to play? You know, Come on.
But they lost the other girl too, as you said.
Mary, yeah, that was concussion, so she'll be back.
But the thing is, the problem was...
No, she was only out for a week.
With a helmet.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
helmet.
Caleb Daniels' helmet.
Concussion, she'll be back.
The funny thing is, it wasn't the forwards that lost the game against Nigeria. It was the backs, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, apparently.
I don't know. I didn't watch
Well, that's what normally happens, isn't
I don't
it?
know.
When you lose.
Yeah, very good point.
I don't watch soccer. I don't know.
Hang on, I'm going to phone a friend.
So, who are you on? Australia or Canada?
Oh, well, we're Australian. We go Australia.
You're gonna...
290.
Yeah, okay.
290 is against 330. 330 be good though. A draw. Jeez, that's paying around, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I would hope
And soccer,
Australia,
you know,
because
I
we're
mean-
hosting it.
You know, if they hack them a little bit round the legs and that, and they broke a few nails, I reckon that'd be a fair thing.
Can you blokes do me a favour next week?
Yes.
Do some homework and come up with a couple of names of the other girls playing for
Oh,
Australia.
well, that's why that.
Yeah.
I know.
We
I
had
get
Kerr
what
and,
you're saying, but that was the reason it was an out with it because no one knows them.
It's a good point.
Yeah,
It's a really good point.
No one
And,
knows them.
and I've got to tell you this.
It's like tonight, Carlton's playing Patrick Cripps and those other guys.
Yeah, but
who-
may I say without cutting you short, you guys have told me this is going to be similar to the front bar one day.
No.
So I want you to go to another level.
No, the front bar is similar to us.
Ah, good point.
That's what I'm putting out there.
Good point.
Yeah, we got more of a hey vibe.
Hey,
Or the Muppets.
GTV 9, I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight.
Oh, that was
James,
Cleve.
James. Oh, that was Cleve.
That was Cleve's tips.
James
Sorry.
Thanks,
Wiggins.
James. Cheers, mate. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming, mate. I know it's been a little bit loose.
Please tips.
Right, now you're right.
I know it's been a little bit loose tonight, but that's what we do. We're here to have fun and talk about about things that are going on. But mate, what you have done and what you are setting up and what's going to happen to me is phenomenal. I love the fact that you're doing all this charity work for it as well.
Thank you.
We will definitely be there for both the game and the night.
Yes.
We're guys, if you're in Tasmania, please get involved. $10 a ticket to go and see this is crazy. Even
I know times are
$100
tough,
for
but
dinner.
$10. I think everyone could
that's true.
$10 is, you know, and of course, you know, as I said, you're going to see some of the greatest players that have probably graced our football ovals and all the rest of it too, which is another thing. So if you're a keen follower of the game, and you have been, just get up there to KG5. Great venue, you guys.
Thank you. And as I say, all those guys, including myself, donate their time for the game as well. So it's a fantastic thing, and I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and have a bit of fun with you guys.
It's been great having you, mate. And you're always welcome to come back, especially if Glenn's not here. I think you'll fit in quite well.
I'll just open your mouth out.
Guys, don't forget, what was it, Al? The Eastern Shore, Sorrel,
Southeast Suns.
Yes,
Southeast Suns.
So
Wednesday night.
Southeast Suns,
Yeah,
So that's Sorrel footy ground.
Yeah, it is, mate. They're having a bit of a do down there, and Corey's organised Todd Russell to come down, and as I said, I'm going to interview him and talk to him.
Very good footballer
He was too.
in his own right.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so we'll have a bit of a chat about that. We'll have a bit of a chat about down in the mine and all that sort of stuff that goes with it. So
Well done. Well done. Thanks to all the people that rang up tonight.
Yeah, that was great. The phone works well. Thank you to Mel, which we'll start
Robbie
advertising.
and you know Razor and everyone there. So good talk.
Right.
Have a great weekend, guys. That's the Friday Frothy. My name's Jeff. That is Glenn. This is Jaimes Wiggins. Make sure you get on to Relive the Rivalry. I can't even say that word. It's so hard to say.
And make sure that Tasmania beat Victoria.
Go the Tassie.
Too many frothies.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.